You're listening to Spreaker Web Radio.
Hello, this is Kelly Hawkins with Wake Up for Kelly Hawkins. It's Friday, July 13th, and it's pretty late at night. Usually I do the show pretty quickly after I get home from work, and tonight it's like kind of late, but I'm like forcing myself to do a show because I told myself I would do one every night. And so I'm doing a show, even though I don't have a topic. But there was one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's today I was talking to somebody on the phone, a receptionist, right? And she was like, she had to ask me my age, and I told her, my age, and she was like, "Oh, you sound like you're 18 or 20." And I'm like, I know, I hate it. I hate the fact that I sound so young. And I was like, yes, I know. And it was so funny because she goes, "Do you get carded much?" And I'm like, no, because I'm obviously, I'm like, no, I don't look as young as I sound. I wish I did. And that's kind of funny. I like almost posted it on Facebook, but like I didn't know how to word it correctly because I was saying what I said, I explained what happened, and then I said that, but I do look good for my age. And I think I do look good for my age, but for some reason, having it written out on Facebook sounded conceited, and I didn't mean it like conceitedly because that would be stupid. I'm fat. But I meant it like happily. I feel lucky that, especially considering all the health problems I've had. Like, I had cancer, which is like just about as major of a health problem as you can get. And I have diabetes currently. So, and I even said that in the post, but it still sounded conceited, and which is stupid because I'm like the opposite of conceited. But you know what I'm saying? It was just kind of really funny that she asked me if I got carded because I sound young. Like, no, not really. Although I do get carded every once in a while, but I don't drink very often, so I don't know. Actually, that's probably what I should have said. That I really don't drink. I bought some champagne on my birthday, and gave I drank most of the bottle. I gave one glass to the lady that lives here, but for the most part, I just drink the whole bottle, which I don't drink very often. So I kind of felt it the next day. Oh yeah, you know what? When I was down in the DC area to protest the Bilderberg group, I drank a few nights there. I drank like 2 or 3 times when I was out. Like once, um, the first night, like before I met Alex Jones, I was a little toasty and got my picture taken with him. And then I think it was the next night. It's like everything seemed to like go so fast and so slow at the same time. Like all this stuff was happening, so it was like so eventful, especially for me. And then so in that way, it seemed like it went fast because all the stuff was happening, but there was so much stuff, like the memories. It seems like it took longer than it actually did because I have so many memories about it. But I think it was the next night that I drank again. Yeah, I think so. So I drank like 2 nights in a row. Which, yeah. Oh, the one time I went to DC, like, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago, it was 3 years ago. And I went to a bar every night and I drank. I drank like pretty much everybody under the table. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Well, because I'm like amazed at how little I drank, really. And I was just like, I got so drunk every night and I didn't throw up once. I was just like drink and drink and drink and drink. Get so amazingly drunk, wake up and do it again the next day. And I did that for like 3 days in a row, which is totally not like me. But every once in a while, I like to do things that I don't usually do. Um, let's see what else. Today at work, it was alright. Friday's my half day. So, after work, I wanted to surprise my son because, I have this job and it's consistent. So, I wanted to surprise him because he's on vacation and, like, deposit, um, do a bank transfer and deposit money into his bank account, right? As a present. Because his birthday is in December and it's like right after Christmas. So I thought I would give him a little present, a little bit of spending money since he's on vacation. And so I went to the bank and I tried to get his bank account information and they wouldn't give it to me. I was like, but I used to give him, an allowance by bank transfer every month. And I was like, you can't you pull it up? I mean, it's attached to my account. And they said they didn't have a record of that they don't have access to that information. And he just like, he wouldn't do it, right? So then I emailed my son, Nigel, and I was like, oh, how's everything going? And how you doing with money? Did you want me to send you some money? And he's like, no, don't send me money. So, I mean, I'm happy. There's other things I could spend it on. But I really wanted to, like, send my son a little bit of money because I know he works hard. And I knew he wouldn't. If he really needed it, I'm sure he would have taken some. But he's not the kind of kid that would, if he didn't need it, he would take it because he knows that I work hard too. And I don't even have like a good phone. And I was like, I should be spending this on like a new phone, but I still won't, you know? Actually, I'm saving up to go to New York for September, and I don't know if I'm going to or not. I still haven't decided if I'm going to New York for September. Like, I want to, but it's just, it's a few days bus ride, and the bus is expensive, and then the hotel prices in New York are outrageous. Last year, it wasn't really anybody's fault, but I ended up paying for the hotel by myself for like, I'm not sure how many days, but it was quite a few days. And I went to New York with my son, but originally it was supposed to be like a whole van full of people, and I got this huge room, like a huge apartment that I rented for like the 3 days, and the price actually wasn't bad. It was less than $200 a night, and for a tiny crappy room, it's like $100 a night in that area. So, and this was like a 2 bedroom with a living room. I made a YouTube video about it, and it had like a full-size kitchen. So, I mean, it was definitely worth the money if I was sharing it. But paying for it myself, I was not prepared to do that. But I did anyways because I'd already gotten it, and I was like, F it, you never know. Somebody might decide that. Because, like, there were people that were thinking that they might come down, they weren't sure. And it ended up, my boyfriend at the time, Desmond, he came up from DC. He was doing some camera work, at the Walker Street. He was doing camera work at Walker Street for the conferences that were going on there for 9/11. So he had a reason to come up, and he could have stayed there, crashed somewhere there, but he stayed with me instead. So that was nice. And then that wouldn't have been able to happen if I had like other people paying for you know. So I guess it worked out the way it was supposed to. And let's see. Hmm. I'm really broadcasting tonight just because I want to broadcast every night. I saw that I had 6 live viewers on my show yesterday. Though, like, honestly, I do not believe in view counts. I don't. That's one of the things that I do not believe. I know people say that they're accurate. A lot of people think they're accurate and that they give reasons why there'll be more likes than there are views on YouTube. And whatever reason that is, I still don't believe in view counts for YouTube videos, or they can make something seem to be much more popular than it is by giving it a whole bunch of view counts, and they can make other things seem a lot less popular by having little to no view counts. And it's so easy to control people's perception that way. I don't know why people don't understand that that's one thing that they do, They know all the other evils about Google, and Google owns YouTube. I think they do anyways. I'm pretty sure they bought them. They know all the other evils about Google, how they drive past people's houses and they pick up their passwords, and they will listen to your. I know this sounds extreme, but it's really true that they do this. They actually have a car that was driving around, for the Google Street Views, and that same car was downloading all the information off of everybody's computers, and they got fined for it. It really happened. It's like a legal thing that really happened, and people still don't understand. And yet, for some reason, they're going to trust them on their view counts. No, you can't trust them. I'm sorry. Like, and Google will listen to the microphone on your computer, and they use it for advertising purposes. It's scary stuff that they do. So, and right now there's a big protest on the West Coast for the Bohemian Grove. People are protesting that, and the fact that it's going on is scary. Somebody posted today a picture of on Facebook. It was a few people posted it, but I think what had the most comments was Jesse Ventura's True TV Facebook, of a picture from, I think it was 1909, of what looked like a dead black boy on a stretcher, and there were a bunch of people around, posing around it, and people were commenting oh, there are women there, so it can't be the Bohemian Grove. But looking at it, those weren't women, they were men in drag. You can tell the difference. Not always, but they seriously look like men in drag. And this picture was taken from 1909. And to me, I mean, there wasn't any landmarks in the picture so that you would know. There wasn't this huge owl in the background or anything. It was just woods. It was at night, so it was dark. But to me, the thing that makes me think that it could be true is the fact that there are men in drag in it. Like it's all men except for a few men in drag. I mean, how many men wore drag in 1909? I mean, I know they did it like back in the day of history, like, the Roman Empire days. And for plays and stuff, like back in the day, when women weren't allowed to be actresses and perform on stage. But in the early 1900s, I don't think it happened very often. So to me, that makes it seem more realistic that it actually was true, and that's upsetting. And then people were like commenting they weren't sure if the kid was black, they weren't sure if it was a kid, and it's an old picture, it's grainy, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell the race of the person, and it's hard to tell. But I was like, if you took the structure and you put it up so that the person would be standing up, he does look like he would be at least a foot or a foot and a half shorter than the people that were standing up around him. That was the way I saw it. But what happens at the Bohemian Grove is scary, you know. I saw the old movie that Alex Jones filmed inside when he snuck in, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever. He snuck in and he filmed it, right? And that could never happen these days. There's, like, way too much security. Security's gotten better, technology's gotten better. And, but yeah, it was like, it really upset me the time I saw it. I watched it, the first time I watched it, and I cried for hours after I saw it. I mean, you can know something, but then when you see it, it changes, you know? You can know something intellectually, but when you see it and you experience it, even though it was a video, and videos can be faked, um, I don't know, it was really upsetting. So, so yeah, that's going on in California right now. They're having their stupid things. Probably tonight. The thing starts tonight. So they're probably doing that cremation of care ceremony. And they, when they did that ceremony, they had it, Walter Cronkite was the voice of the guy that was doing it. He was the narrator. And I wonder if they still have him as the narrator since he's passed away, or whether they made a new audio tape for it. It's like one of those things that I wonder, you know? Like after he passed away, that was like the first thing I was wondering. I was like, I wonder what they're gonna do at the Bohemian Grove. Are they gonna be making another tape? You know? Because that's like my most significant memory of Walter Cronkite now. It's not him narrating. Wasn't it him who narrated the people walking on the moon, supposedly? I'm not even sure if people really walked on the moon when they said they did. I'm not. I don't believe anything anymore. I don't. I don't even believe the truthers half the time because they might be disinformation agents. So I just I don't know, it's a strange existence when you can't really believe reality. Or you don't know what is reality and what's falsality. But I don't know. I pray to God. And you can only worry so much. It takes too much energy. It's too stressful to worry. So I don't spend much time worrying. I put faith in God, and then when bad things happen, I have like, I'm a normal person. I have like emotions, and bad things happen, and I'm like, man, that's a bad thing. And I feel bad, but I usually like, I put effort into being happy. And it does take effort. It takes a lot of effort, and like, I don't know. I have to consciously like be happy. It's weird. But I am. I'm a very happy person. It just doesn't come like easily. It's like you have to block out the bad thoughts. When you have a bad thought, you're like, you have to be like, you have to dismiss it because you can't let yourself like go down that hole. It doesn't, it's not positive. It's not, you won't get anywhere doing that. It's a waste of time. And not only is it a waste of time, it's like a bad use of time. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. I really, like, I'm still thinking about that lady that said I sounded like a kid. And that's what I was thinking. Actually, the first thing I thought of was, yeah, I've been listening to my podcasts, so I know I sound like a kid. But I didn't tell her that because, I don't know, I was like, I could have told her that I've been listening to myself record a lot lately, and I do sound like a kid. And I do, and I hate it. I mean, I sound pleasant enough, but still. I don't know, I think I would be taken more seriously if I had a more serious sounding voice. And I don't. I don't at all. Wow, it's like, it's pretty late, and I had 2 cups of coffee tonight. So, because I wasn't expecting to get up early tomorrow. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have coffee. I really like the way coffee tastes, and I'm going to drink some coffee because it's delicious. And now I'm going to pay for it because I'm going to be up all night. Probably not. I'll probably get to sleep just because I'm used to sleeping. I don't know. Caffeine really affects me though. It really keeps me up late. So I might stay up. And I'm sorry I don't have a topic for you. I really need to work on this weekend. This weekend I really need to work on getting topics. My friend Carlos that I talked about yesterday, he agreed to come on the show. So that would be cool. That would be a treat to have a guest. And hey. Yeah, I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else to say. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, thank you for listening to my show. I appreciate it. And tomorrow I'm going to try to do a video show with an actual topic. So stay tuned to kellyhawkins.info for that, or my live stream. And I hope you got a chance to watch that video about the fractional reserve banking. I didn't actually get a chance to rewatch it, but I've seen it a few times. I think it's very, very educational. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, then try to, because it'll like you'll learn things about how they put money into existence that you never realized. I like watched a few minutes of it yesterday and kind of like jogged my memory about it a little bit. But it's like a good book. Some movies and some good books you like rewatch every few years. Wow, it has been a few years since I've seen that one actually. Like 1984, that's one book that I read every few years. Crime and Punishment, that's one of my favorites. I actually started rereading it, but I haven't finished because it's on my Kindle, and now that I have this laptop, I don't really use my Kindle as much. So I should. It's a different translation, the one that I have on my Kindle anyway, than what I used to have in the physical book. But it's still good. It's a good translation. And I love that story. Just about how he got so sick and he convinced himself that doing something bad was actually doing something good. And he was so sick when he did it. And, the consequences of his actions. It's like awesome. It really is. And like about the realness of his environment, well, how he was surrounded by alcoholics and poverty, and it's like, I don't know. A few months ago, somebody on Facebook asked if there was one book you'd want people like 100 years from now, or 1,000. I think it was 1,000 years. 1,000 years from now, if there was one book you would recommend for them to read, what would it be? And that was my book. Because even though it's not set in current days, it's still a pretty accurate representation of society. I mean, some areas really are that poor right even now. Okay, but I'm running out of time. It's like I'm at almost 28 minutes and I only get a half hour. So, thank you for listening. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks. Wake up.